What's up, everybody? You are listening to the Think Big podcast. I'm your host, Ayelet Polonsky, also known as your manifestation mentor. This podcast is designed to help you create a manifestation mindset by learning how to think big. You'll learn to use your thoughts to co-create your reality. Let's get into today's episode. People often ask me, how does manifestation work? What does it mean that I can set an intention for a particular outcome and see that desire come to life in my physical world? So today I'd like to start with the basics. We've all heard of the term synchronicity. You know, like when you think of a person and then you bump into them at the supermarket, or you get a phone call from them, even though you haven't heard from them in years. Or when you think of a white Jeep Wrangler because you're in the market for a new car and you begin to see white Wranglers everywhere. The other day I was at the supermarket with my husband and we were talking manifestation. And he asked me, he said, Ayelet, is there anything that is too far-fetched to manifest? Like, you tell people to think big, dream big, be unapologetic about what it is that you want, you desire. And so I responded by saying, you can manifest whatever you want, but be open to the ways in which that intention is going to show up in your life. Let go of the form, let go of the how. So I said, take a flying unicorn, for example. And I looked over at my husband and I said, let's go for it. Let's try to manifest a flying unicorn. We kept walking down the aisle. And as we kept going, we turned the aisle. We saw smack in front of our faces, you guessed it, a flying unicorn. What do I mean we saw a flying unicorn? We saw a balloon with a unicorn on it, hence a flying unicorn. Sometimes you're actively asking for the sign, and sometimes the sign simply appears because you're focusing so much attention on that particular object. So my husband, for example, is trying to get me to appreciate action movies. So he got me to commit to watching the Batman trilogy back to back for 3 days straight. On the fourth day, we were visiting my parents' house. And as soon as we parked in the driveway, my brother calls me and says, you're not going to believe this. A bat just flew into the house. True story. So you see, synchronicity happens whether you're actively or passively set on that thing manifesting. In the case of the bat, I wasn't looking for a bat, but because where your thoughts go, energy flows. That's what I was drawing into my vortex, into my experience. And I'm always trying to wear my manifestation glasses. So I'm always looking for or being open to receiving those signs. Synchronicity are incidents of spiritual significance that ask us to momentarily consider that the divine, God, is intervening in our day-to-day life. He does this by showing us sometimes mini and sometimes massive miracles. You think of something and then it appears. I call that a forehead kiss from God. When I think of a book and then I see it on the corner of the street up for grabs, that's a forehead kiss from God. The more I stop and say thank you for these synchronicities, the more I see them in my day-to-day life. What you appreciate appreciates. So synchronicity is the beginning step of co-creating with the divine, of manifesting. It's allowing you to train that muscle, that thinking muscle, that spiritual muscle to think big. The more you start doing this in many ways, the more you're inevitably going to think bigger. The technique is to start small by asking for mini miracles. So perhaps set the intention to experience synchronicity by asking for a golden doodle. Or for me, my sign is a hummingbird, or an ice cream cone with sprinkles, or a yellow sundress with sunflowers on it. Whatever your sign is, start small. Don't obsess over it. Don't become too attached to the outcome. Have fun with it. Set your intention and then let go and allow the magic to work itself. And again, be open to seeing variations of your sign, like my unicorn balloon. If you enjoyed this episode and would like more manifestation inspiration, tune in every Monday for a new episode. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on an episode. What you get out of this show means the world to me, so I invite you to leave an honest review. And if you want more, you can follow me on social media at Ayelet Polonsky. And if you want to learn how to manifest a life you love, head on over to ayeletpolonsky.com to check out the courses that I offer. See you next week. And as always, think big and happy manifesting.